Hey guys, welcome back to Matthew Vinyl. Today I'll be showing my Swing and Blue Jeans vinyl collection. So starting off we have their debut LP, it's called the Swing and Blue Jeans. Now this is a mid-60s reissue from the UK. It is not an original pressing. The original one was on HMV in 1964, whilst this is the Music for Pleasure reissue. Now this copy still sounds quite good. I'll show the label real quick before I get into the album. As you can see, it's on this blue MFP label. Now this does feature one original track, and that track is called It's So Right, written by the entire group. Apart from that track, the entire LP is full of covers. Now some are good. I'm now going to go through each track. The first track on the LP is Old Man Mose, a fantastic cover by the group here, and they do their version of The Drifters' Save the Last Dance for Me, which is an alright cover. And now this next one, we're talking about track 3 and track 4 of side 2, because they are by The Shadows. If you're unfamiliar, The Shadows are a very popular British group from the 50s and 60s, mainly the 60s, and they did it from the 70s and the 80s, but they're very popular in Britain. Their biggest hit was Apache, and they were the backing group to Cliff Richard. Now they were mainly instrumental, but they did do some vocal performances, and on this LP by the Swing and Blue Jeans they cover 2 of those tracks, one being That's the Way It Goes, and the other one being Don't It Make You Feel Good. Now they were both written by Bruce Welch and Hank Marvin of The Shadows, and they are absolutely fantastic tunes, absolutely great. I actually prefer both versions. There's not one that I prefer more or less. I think they're both quite good. And yeah, they're both great pop tunes. Do a cover of Around and Around by Chuck Berry, of course. I do very enjoy their cover of It's All Over Now. Very good cover. And of course they do Long Tall Sally. Fantastic cover, absolutely great. Side 2 you have Lordy Miss Claudie, good cover. And then you have Some Sweet Day. Their version is great. It's got a nice feel of it. It's got nice reverb on the guitars. Nice vocals, great track. They do have, of course, It's So Right, the track penned by the group, which I've already mentioned. And then it does go to Don't Make You Feel Good, the song that we've mentioned before there again. And then they have All About Is You. That one is not one of my favourite tracks, but it's still decent. And the album ends with another Little Richard cover, and this one is Tutti Frutti. And again, their version is quite good. As the back cover there does include information about each member. But yeah, that was the only Swing and Blue Jeans LP I own. I believe this is the only 60s British LP that was released. They did have a US compilation called Hippie Hippie Shake. Talking about albums, there is one album that I do not own that I really do want to own. It was a Canadian only release, and it was called Don't Make Me Over, named after the current hit at the time. And I don't know too much information about the release, but all I know is that it was released on Capitol Records in Canada in 1966, and I believe it was pulled off the shelves or something like that, because it hardly sold any copies. It's extremely hard to find nowadays. It can get quite expensive too. It has been reissued twice on CD. The last time it was in Japan, and it was on the Parlophone label, so to my knowledge, Parlophone obviously holds the rights to the LP, and I hope it can get reissued on vinyl, because it really does need a vinyl reissue. I haven't heard the entire album, but I have heard some of the tracks. They do a cover of The Lovin' Spoonfuls' Do You Believe in Magic, and their version is absolutely fantastic. It's such a good track. They do also cover You Don't Love Me. Of course, I'm familiar with the Gary Walker version, and of course their version is quite good as well. They also do a cover of the Beatles' This Boy, and their version is quite decent again as well. All those tracks have been issued again twice on CD, as I mentioned, but also have been issued on big compilations in the 2000s and 2010s on CD, but no vinyl release. And it's a shame, because they are very good covers, and again, I haven't heard the entire album, but the songs that I do know, they are top class. So it does need a reissue. If you're unfamiliar, of course, a lot of EMI artists were released on Capitol in Canada, such as Cliff Richard, The Shadows, The Hollies, the Dave Clark 5, all these groups were issued on Capitol in Canada. And now I'll be doing the EPs and singles. Now, this is my only EP I own, and it's in very good condition. It is their first EP, I believe. It's called Shake with the Swing and Blue Jeans, and all the tunes have what you think. They are shake tunes. You got their big hit, Hippie Hippie Shake. You got Shaking All Over, of course, the Johnny Kidd song that they covered. Their version is actually quite good. And then you have Shake, Rattle and Roll. I love their version of that tune. And then it has their own self-penned song called Shake and Feelin'. Absolutely great song. As you can see, it's on this nice HMV label. Absolutely great. And actually, my copy is in quite good condition, as you can see, apart from a few little creases there. but a very good EP. And now we've got my singles. We've got their big hit, Hippie Hippie Shake, and it is backed by Now I Must Go. And I do own another copy of that single, and this one is my Japanese copy, and I love this one. It's such a cool release, and it's on the nice ever clean Japanese red wax vinyl. It's, you know, it's very cool. That same A side, same B side. Now I Must Go. I do own this UK issue of Good Golly Miss Molly, and it's backed by Shake and Feeling. Again, two great tunes. And yet again, staying with that single, I do have the Australian issue of Good Golly Miss Molly, again backed with Shake and Feeling. Now my copy is a bit cracked there. I didn't do this. This is just the way it came. Thankfully, it's only the centre hole. It's not the actual disc itself. So the disc still plays quite cool. But as you can see, a nice little HMV Australian label there. And now we have You're No Good, a US issue on Imperial, and it's backed by Shake, Rattle and Roll. Of course, You're No Good, one of my favourite songs from the 60s. Of course, in the 70s, it was done by Linda Ronstadt, but the Swing and Blue Jeans version of this song is absolutely phenomenal. Such a good track. And now to finish off the video, we do have Don't Make It Over, as I mentioned earlier, on that Canadian LP. It was a hit single in the UK, so this is the single here, of course. And it is backed by What Can I Do Today, a decent B-side. But yeah, absolutely great track. Of course, written by Hal David and Burt Bacharach, of course, but absolutely fantastic. There is also one single that I don't own yet that I really want to own, and that is Rumours, Gossip, Words and True. It's an absolutely phenomenal track. Of course, they did issue a lot of singles, but most of them didn't chart from about 66 onwards. And that one, it's not hard to find, but it can get a bit expensive at times. So at the moment, I don't own it, but I will get it one day in the future, hopefully. But yeah, that concludes my video today, guys. It's been a few weeks since I've made a collection video, but we're back in the swing of it again. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Please like, subscribe, and peace.